It seems like every time we hear from Bryce Dallas Howard, she's complaining about being a woman in Hollywood, despite the fact that she's made millions and millions of dollars over her career, and despite the fact that so many of the career opportunities she's had is specifically because she's the daughter of Ron Howard. That has not stopped Bryce Dallas Howard, and fresh off the heels of her complaining that Chris Pratt got paid more than her in Jurassic World Dominion, now she's complaining about what she was asked to do for the $8 million that she was guaranteed for this role. Heaven forbid they ask her to get in shape. Bryce Dallas Howard, I was asked to lose weight before filming Jurassic World Dominion, but my director protected me. And like I said, this is right on the heels of what she said a few months ago, when she was sitting there bitching and complaining that she only got paid, I think, $8 million compared to Chris Pratt's $10 million. Now, to Chris Pratt's credit, he did a bunch of stuff to try to get her more money, whether it was with deals that they did outside, whether it was things they did with parks, stuff like that. Chris Pratt did a lot to get her a lot of money on the back end as well. But Bryce Dallas Howard is actually complaining about getting paid less than Chris Pratt, one of the biggest stars in the freaking world. But that doesn't stop Bryce Dallas Howard from trying to play the victim constantly. Bryce Dallas Howard revealed in a new interview with Metro that she was asked to lose weight before filming Jurassic World Dominion, which marks her third outing in the Jurassic World franchise. This is common practice, not just for women in Hollywood. This has nothing to do with gender. This is a common practice for roles, especially if it's a role you've played before. If it's something that you've done before. When people first saw you in this role several years ago, it was one way. They kind of want you to remain looking that way for the rest of the time. And I even pointed this out in a tweet once I saw this article come out yesterday. Chris Pratt, her co-star, was asked to lose weight and transform his body for Star-Lord, and it ended up turning him into a megastar. This isn't a fucking gender thing. If you're not willing to put in the work, don't bitch about not getting paid as much. And it really is laughable that a few months ago, she was complaining about not getting paid as much. Now, a few months after that, she says, well, I didn't really want to have to lose this weight. I didn't really want to have to do what they wanted me to do. I wonder, combined with the fact that you're not as big of a star as Chris Pratt, maybe that has something to do with people not wanting to pay you as much. And this is Chris Pratt. This is what Chris Pratt did to change himself from how he looked in Parks and Rec and other stuff that he appeared in before. And it changed him from being a, supporting character, funny guy, to one of the biggest stars in Hollywood right now. Imagine if Chris Pratt had complained about having to lose weight or get shredded to play Star-Lord. What would his career look like now? But let's see what Bryce has to say. With being in this third film allowed, how do I say this? How do I say this? How do I say this? I've been asked to not use my natural body in cinema. On the third movie, it was actually because there were so many women cast. It was something that Colin felt very strongly about in terms of protecting me, because the conversation came up again. We need to ask Bryce to lose weight. I love how it's always put as my natural body. What does that mean? For some people, they might consider their natural body when they're active, when they're out doing things, when they're healthy, when they're eating well. For other people, they might consider their natural body to be when they're not working out, when they're eating like dog shit, when they don't care about excess calories. Natural body is a very interesting way to put it in this narrative that, they're not accepting me in my natural body. Weird, isn't it? Colin was like, there are lots of different women on this planet, and there are lots of different kinds of women in our film. I got to do so many stunts that wouldn't have been possible if I had been dieting. Howard concluded, said, I'm really thrilled all the action I got to do and I got to do with my body. She was at her maximum strength, and I hope it's yet another indication of what's possible. And we can take a look, and we can see the reason why some of these executives may have said, hey, Bryce, maybe we want you to look a little more like you did in those first movies. I'm sure you guys all remember this. This is like the most famous scene, right, from that first Jurassic World movie. This is what people come up to Bryce Dallas Howard to have her sign. It's this scene. It's pretty iconic. And she was running around for the second half of that film, with this tank top on, so she could show off her body. There's no doubt about that. In the same way that we see Chris Pratt, sometimes he'll have a shot with his shirt off, he'll have tight shirts, things like that to show off what good shape Chris Pratt is in. That's how it works in Hollywood for both sexes. That's how it'll always work. Well, what would it look like in Jurassic World Dominion? Well, they went a little different with their approach. They decided to keep Bryce Dallas Howard covered up in multiple layers of clothes most of the time. Now, Don't get me wrong. And here she is with some flannel. Here she is at another later scene. Now, this is all kind of B-roll footage from behind the scenes, stuff like that. There's no doubt she looks a little bit different than she did in that first movie. I'm not saying she looks bad. I still think Bryce Dallas Howard is incredibly attractive. But this is common in Hollywood. People get asked all the time to transform their bodies for different roles, for different reasons. People get cast certain ways for certain reasons. It's not a big deal. It's part of Hollywood. But Bryce Dallas Howard, once again, is trying to make this all about herself. She still does look good, but people might have wanted her to look a little bit different. In the same way that Christian Bale probably looked good before he put on some specific type of weight for Batman. But they wanted him to look a certain way. That's how this shit happens. This is Hollywood. But Bryce just plays this constant fucking victim, complaining about not getting paid as much as one of the biggest movie stars in the fucking world. Ironically, as Bryce Dallas Howard's weight has gone up in recent years, the box office results for Jurassic World have gone down. Now, there's a lot of factors involved. I'm sure that's just a coincidence. But at the same time, everybody understands that this is normal in Hollywood. And for someone to try to come out here and play the fucking victim again, it's really sad and pathetic. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.